Hey guys, so here's a new episode of Real Talk podcast where I talk about all things real while sharing my own experience to help others out and to maybe spread some wisdom from personal experience and maybe create a community based on supporting each other and helping each other through life's challenges. So today's video is going to be about relationships and attachment. This has become a very popular topic recently, especially on TikTok, social media, because, we see a problem here. So starting off with my story, I grew up very attached to people who saw me romantically. It would start off good at first, and then I would get attached, and all my thoughts would be, how are they thinking of me? My life would become invested in what they thought of me, and if they loved me, if they liked me, did they enjoy talking to me? And I kind of drove myself crazy, and I would get really anxious. I would break out. I would be anxious all the time, checking my phone, see if they texted me back. If I even saw a little ounce of distance, I would immediately try to attach myself even more, and this led to a lot of issues in my relationships because they were based in need and not based in love. So today I'm gonna teach you how I heal that in me. Of course, I still get anxious sometimes. I'm not saying I don't, but I deal with it and I cope with it a lot better, and I understand my triggers now, and I'm honest about them, and I don't let them affect how I am in relationships, though. There's a difference. So the first point I have to bring up is, why do we get attached? And is it really a bad thing? Are all relationships attachment? Well, the feeling of you're missing something other than yourself or other than what you have in your life is always going to lead to disappointment. When you have this thought in your mind that my happiness or my security is based in others, you will always be disappointed, because life is ever flowing. People are not always going to be in your life, and even if you are married and you are together for 30, 40, 50 years, one of you is going to die, and then what? That heartbreak is going to be so unimaginable. And if you really think about it, do you really want a life that is based in someone else? You came in this world alone. Don't you want to live it alone to a point? Of course, get friendships and get relationships throughout your life, but your story is your story. So why would you ever want to give someone else the power to change your story, or to influence your only life? So just because you're not attached doesn't mean you don't love them. For example, like, you can really love someone and not be attached to the outcome of them staying into your life. You can, in fact, this is the way love expresses itself the most. When you are able to detach yourself from someone and kind of be okay if they stay or they go, it allows a certain amount of freedom in this relationship, and that freedom will protect you, one, and it will also protect the bond that you guys have. If you understand that everything in life is ever flowing, it gives you time to really appreciate the now, really appreciate the relationship you do have with that person, and kind of grow in love instead of in need. So the effects of attachment that leads me to is resistance to the now, resistance to your life, resistance to the ever-flowing change of life, which ultimately leads to suffering. All the suffering that's created in the world is based on the feeling of lack, the feeling I'm not content with what I have. And the truth is that we will never fully ever have everything that we want in life, or that we consciously, our thoughts want. So the effects of attachment that leads to resistance, which leads to suffering. And ultimately, it leads to pain when they do leave you, or when they do die, or when eventually life separates you, because that need, if you want something, anything other than yourself, or you rely on something, anything other than yourself, it will leave you. Think about it. Every attachment that you had, when people are really attached to money, they are never in abundance because they fear it. You cannot attract something that you fear. And that goes with love, you know? So it leads to a lot of conflict in relationships. It leads to anger, to anxiety, to conflict. If you have no attachment to the outcome, you're kind of okay with whatever they do. Whatever they choose to do, that's on them. It has nothing to do with you. And you allow them this freedom because you realize that they're an individual person with thoughts, emotions, belief systems, the past, their past. You know, you can't control. Not everyone is like you. Okay, so I explained the effects of it, the negative effects, and the positive effects of detaching yourself. Freedom, love, the time that you do have with that person that you love will be fulfilling. It will be not fulfilling because you're already fulfilled, but it will be a celebration of your fullness. It will be a celebration of the unity of you two coming together. It will be a celebration of life itself, of God, of the universe, of everything that comes together. It will be a celebration of that when you show love to someone. You will get that true feeling of gratitude and love when you let go of the attachment towards someone. Because the opposite is just resistance, pain, because life is ever flowing and it will force itself on you. There's no way to fight the law of the universe. The only way through is to work with it. And the way we work with it is to rely only on ourselves and to just stay focused in expressing our love for life with that person, not through that person. Okay, so the third point is how to detach and how to be healthy. Well, like I'm saying all this like how great it is, but you don't know how to get there. Well, for one, the thoughts are gonna overtake you. Like you can have this understanding and still have the thoughts like, oh, they don't like me, oh, and still have this need in your mind. So the way you kind of detach yourself from that, or detach yourself from like the one that has the hold on you, the ego, is to first accept it, accept the present moment, accept that you're going through this challenge. And the second part is mindfulness. You need to be able to calm your mind down, calm your thoughts down, so you calm your body down. To calm your nervous system down, take deep breaths, meditate, do something that distracts you. A lot of people say that meditation isn't for them, but I feel like you haven't really tried it to the point. You haven't consistently tried it. You won't get it on the first try, but you know, it's through mindfulness, it's through self-awareness, understanding that you're having these thoughts. So you could, oh, I'm having these thoughts. Now I'm gonna switch my frame. Now I'm gonna calm my body down, and I'm gonna take these steps in order to detach myself. So one is to calm the nervous system down. Do some grounding exercises. Feel all your five senses. What am I feeling right now? What am I sensing right now? What am I seeing? What am I touching? What am I smelling? You know? What am I tasting? Okay, so the next thing is to release the story. At the end of the day, stories are all concepts of the mind. It's not important in the scheme of things. So what you have to do is you have to understand that there's a story. This person did this, and it built up to this, and it led up to this. Calm down. Pretend the story doesn't exist. Stay with the feeling of being unfulfilled, being like anxiety ridden, of being angry, of being feeling this need, this feeling of lack. Feel it fully. Separate yourself from the situation. One, stop texting them, stop calling them, stop doing this. If you're doing it, accept it. If you can't control yourself, accept it, do it anyways, but still take these steps. Stop blaming them. Stop blaming them. Take responsibility for your own emotions, because at the end of the day, you allowed them to get to you. You allowed them to harm your peace. It wasn't based on them. You are in control of your emotions. No one else is. They're in control of their emotions, of their actions. You are in control of your reactions. So you have to understand that, and you have to really understand that, and you have to release the story, release blame, and stay with the emotion fully. Accept it fully, and bring it so close that it becomes you almost. And that sounds scary. That doesn't sound like the right thing to do, but it is. You know, we lived our whole lives resisting these emotions, which led to further chaos, further thoughts. How about you just sit there and you accept the moment, accept that you're feeling all these things, accept the situation, accept this is what life brought to you. So now you have no choice but to accept it. It was already accepted. So now you have to take your power back, and you have to accept it. The only way to feel in control of a situation that you've lost control of is to accept it. Simple as that. Okay, so number 4, healthy boundaries, right? So I've struggled with this a lot. If I don't hold anyone to any expectations, and I come through with this relationship of love and acceptance and healing and blah, 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 it sounds nice, right? But how do I know whether someone is how do I know whether someone is doing what I want them to do and loving me in the right way and also respecting me? And for that, I have to say, okay, so I guess the thought process would be like, if I don't expect anything, how do I know I'm being treated right? Well, when their actions also come from a place of love and understanding, and you take a step back, you stop thinking and you feel their actions towards you, and you try to understand the place it comes from. Does it also come from this place of lack, of this place of anger, of this place of separation, or does it come from a place of love and unity? And is it a response to your reactions, or is it just who they are? You find that once you change your reactions and you coming from a place of love, people will automatically gravitate towards you, and they will automatically also go into love. And if not, that's okay, because you are in love. You understand? You don't have these attachments to this person. So now everything that they do doesn't affect you. So you can be in this place of peace and love, and if they aren't also reacting in the same way, okay, I'm cool. I'm fine. Let them be. So that's the main difference. If you can really calm yourself down and get to this place of understanding, does their actions come from a place of love and understanding, or separation and lack? And when you're detached, the mind is clear. The mind can think logically and not based in an emotion. So you need to have faith that once you get to this point, you will have the intuition and the knowledge and the wisdom to truly understand where their actions coming from. And if they're not coming from a place of love, you have a choice to make now. Am I going to sit and accept this, or am I going to leave and respect myself and find someone who also celebrates this with me? So if there is disrespect, form boundaries. This is not okay with me. I can't allow you to do this to me. Be very serious, be very stern, look them in the eye. Come from a place of love when you're setting these boundaries. Don't come from a place of, oh, you did this, but I'm blaming you, but there's no need. This is how I feel about the situation. This is why I feel disrespected. This is how I feel disrespected. I cannot accept it. I cannot accept or tolerate this this dynamic or these actions. And you have to be clear in that and understand that these are my boundaries and that's it, end of story. And if they break those boundaries, then you have to leave. You have to separate yourself from the situation, no matter how hard it is, no matter how much you want them to love you, because at the end of the day, if they disrespect your boundaries a couple times, they're going to continue to disrespect your boundaries. They're not going to change. Once people disrespect your boundaries, they gotta go, because when you don't stick to your word, they're going to take advantage of that, and they're going to repeat the action, and it's just going to lead to a lot of unnecessary mental turmoil, and then eventually they're going to leave anyways. That's how life works, and that's how it is in general. It's either you waste 2-3 years of your life, or you set boundaries with people. You see people for who they truly are. Well, not who they truly are, because inherently we're all good, but see people for the person that they express themselves to be in this world. You could either choose to love and accept, to accept that person into your life, or to remove that person into your life. And everyone has that freedom. Everyone has that ability. So even if someone doesn't want to express their love for you, their love for life with you, doesn't mean it's anything about you. It's just, that's where they're at. That's the human in them saying, I don't want to be with this person. But hey, once you detach yourself, you can see things from a clear perspective, and you can understand that every life is ever flowing and changing, and there's no reason to kind of hold people to certain expectations, because the only person that you can hold to expectations is yourself, and that has to come from a place of love and understanding. So when someone else doesn't meet up to your standards, let them be. Let them flow. Let them do whatever they please. Let them detach themselves from you. Let them whatever, cheat on you. Let them whatever. And then you'll see, you're not going to force them, oh, don't do this. Blah, blah, blah. You're going to see how they would rather react. And when you see who they truly are, you have a choice to make. Am I going to sit here and accept this? Or am I going to leave and find someone who does respect me? And I think that's where the true freedom comes. Also, being able to detach yourself and having the ability to leave if you want to, without it feeling like it's the end of the world, without feeling like part of you is missing if you let them go, because that's not true at all. Anyways, so I talked a little fast here, but that was my take on attachment and boundaries and relationships, and how to set yourself up for success and relationships, and how to set yourself up so you don't form this feeling of lack. And when you do feel it, because we're all conditioned to feel it, calm yourself down. It's okay. It's okay. It's normal. Your brain is conditioned to think a certain way, to feel a certain way. But when you put this into practice and you repeatedly practice this, then you will have a new sense of freedom in your relationships and in yourself, because you no longer feel the need to look for anything outside of yourself to be happy, or to be fulfilled, or to be content, or to just, and that's really what people want the most. They don't want love, really. They don't really want that other person to like them. All they want is to feel happy and content, because when they don't have that person, they feel lack. So the way to do that without relying on someone else is to find that in yourself. Okay, and that's it for today's episode. Real talk. Real talk. Anyways, bye guys.